Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Art of Speed, Season 4, organized by Malaysian Underground Gran Turismo. This is your host, Brandon, aka Bemus07 in the IGN of the Gran Turismo. Welcome to Art of Speed. And also, I would like to say thank you to our major sponsors here who make a little bit of difference here tonight for this race. It is done. I mean, the sponsors was done by, let's see here. Perlumbaan ini ditaja oleh famous Ilham Nasi Kukus, ayam goreng rempah herba yang kini ada di Mutiara Damansara dan juga Sim Match Simulator. Jika anda ingin naik taraf atau membeli barang berkaitan dengan sim racing, bolehlah cari mereka dan dapatkan harga yang berpatutan dari mereka. Dan seterusnya, let's look into our race session here. We have quite a number of familiar faces here for tonight. As we can see, the host is about to announce the race is about to start soon, but it looks like we start off with qualifying at 10 p.m. sharp. As you can see here, we have, like I mentioned, we have quite a familiar faces here, like Shahir GT is also one of the streamers, known as the YouTuber, or so-called the, let's see here, we have Shahir GT, we have, oh, sorry, HMPR Pasilav, yes, and then Sharul Rossi. And also we have the, let's see, quite a number of familiar faces here. But of course with the new format, I see, lately Gran Turismo has made the update of the new Porsche 992 GT3. And also we also have the other races as well, coming with the sports new Ferrari 268. Sorry, just a moment. Looks like the marshal is a bit busy to announce starting soon for the qualifying session. Okay, we have Silly Salman with the 296 GT3 2023. It looks like here we can see quite a number of new vehicles, and there's quite a number of the old school, like Abimat is using the 458 Italia, and then we have the good old GTR 35, the 2018 model. Of course, they have been vastly improved throughout this, and we also have the RS01 GT3. So as for our current track for tonight's race, will be in Alsace, or Alsace village track. Yes, it's in France. Again, it has a very high elevation and also quite a sharp cornering during the downhill, so the racers might have to pay a lot of attention, especially on the chicane run. Now the qualifying is about to start. The race marshal has begun the qualifying for tonight, and this is where will be determined their position here from 1 to 16. It looks like the room is now full of racers. Total there are 15 racers, and looks like they are all in the soft tires to get the optimal grip for this qualifying run. Definitely it's not so easy for this cold temperature road here. As you can see, all of them is out together. Looks like there will be a massive traffic right in the front. Vice Rosley, Eric Oy, Shahir GT, HMPR Pasilav. Hello again, Pasilav. It's quite a season now. Looks like he was seen from the first season until as of today. Amar R looks like from the past season as well. PRT Silly Salman and Sharul Rossi. So looks like from the number 2 to number 8 are the OG players from season 1, I believe. So if there's a little bit of mistake, do please correct me if there's anything wrong. Also, do feel free to leave comments down below if there's anything wrong with the sound system, or maybe the race volume is not loud enough, do please let me know in the comment section there. And yeah, we do have also ARB. This is looks like one of the veteran GT7 racer. And yeah, let's have a look on the performance. Now they are currently on the out lap, first lap, trying to get the tires heat up and give the best behavior as possible. Try not to dirty the track. PRT Sully Salmon trying to get on the inside. And now getting on the outside. Oh, looks like he went a little bit of offshot. Looks like the tires are getting dirty now. He will have to clean up. He will have to be careful in this long chicane corner here at the downhill, which is proven very, very challenging even for the elite drivers. May have some accidents. As I just mentioned, he has too much power on the rear wheel and cause him a little bit of oversteer. Vasily Salmon, let's look at on the leader, which is Eric Oy, is now currently leading the pack on now entering on the second lap. This is where it starts to determine the racers to go around the track and see if they can give the best as possible result in the next session. So now this is just a qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen, not too excited yet. As you can see, for the people who has a pull start will have a massive pressure from the pack behind, and also the people who start from the rear will have the great observation of the race for 1 hour, as this race format is a 1 hour endurance race. As we are now looking at the performance of Eric Oy's driving, see trying to get the inside line as much as possible with this beautiful made the Hype R livery with these G-Shock and Grady with some a little bit of the toy tires. I think G-Shock is one of these favorite brands, yeah. Let's look on to the next one, which is the Abimat 30. I think he's a very interesting racer. There you go, it's this good old 458 Italia with this maroon red Ferrari. Self-made livery, looks like. And with a good old attention, looks like he is able to focus on this race. Currently now going to cross the line and see if he can beat Eric's oil timing 1:57.13. Looks like he went a little bit offside at 1:53.191, which did not count for this lap, unfortunately. It looks like now second place goes to PRT Silly Salmon at 1:51, and Faiz Rosley, which is not far away from Silly Salmon, at 1:51.654, and then followed by PRT, your uncle. Uncle, huh? Good silver chrome body paintworks. It looks like this is a wrap chrome sticker, very Silver Surfer-ish. Nicely made livery, simple and yet elegant. Yes, you can see here there's a Pantaso. Yes, Pantaso is quite some time now. I never see these Pantaso around. They're being around since season 2. And moving on to Shahir GT with the big Ilham Nasikuku's sticker sponsor at the rear, and hopefully does not disturb his rear view mirror. And pretty nicely made livery here. Kurita UE, I think. I'm not so sure what is that spelling, but yeah, hopefully can get a better angle view for these Shahir GT. But all the best, Shahir GT. He's also one of the streamers, I believe. Is one of the I think I did follow his TikTok, so whoever did have a TikTok, do follow this guy and give him a like and see his, you know, sweaty heads due to stress in the race later on. So currently now the fastest lap he made now is 1:51.927. Is a massive improvement from 1:52. A nice move here. And we look at ARB here at 1:51.497. It looks like he's slowed down for a bit just now, a while ago, and looks like he thinks that that's possibly his limit, but I think he can just push more, right? So moving on to Albimat 30, he's at 152.562. Who says old school cannot perform? It looks like this against this newly downloaded patch, the Porsche 992, looks like giving the quite an advantage in this track, but doesn't mean that the Ferrari 458 couldn't perform as well, because this platform is the MR engine layout. It's a mid-engine layout. The rear-wheel drive gives a good balance in terms of cornering. From the inside to the outside line, he can go in, fast out. Probably it depends on the curvature of the track and also the elevation as well. Probably might be a little bit of struggling because of the performance of the modern engine, maybe giving out a good power output compared to the 458 Italia. But then again, it's all depend to the drivers. Who knows, he might perform much better than the rest of tonight's the new generation's car, which is just released by Polyphony Digital. That is the Porsche 992 and the Ferrari 296 GT3. Now moving on, let's look at KKRT Shino. Oh, a little bit unfortunate. He got a penalty of 5 seconds. Abimat went back to the pit. So let's look at the next. Let's look at number 9. Who is number 9 now? Looks like KKRT Shino, correct? Okay, so look at this KKRT Shino. He's also driving the newly released the Porsche 992 with his beautiful dark blue and red stripes. Number 21. I think that is his official number for the races. A little bit of a Max Verstappen team there. A Red Bull Oracle Racing. Yes. Yep, beautiful. Now his current timing that he has set is 152.463. Moving on to the next. Let's see. Oh, he's now managed to climb to number 7. Well done, KKRT Shino. You are part of the top 10 of the group. Now let's moving on. Let's see on the 16th position and see how's the rear back of the pack is doing in this track. Just a moment. Let's have a look at the rear. Alright. We have Clement, we have Yoni as well. Clement is also running at 152. Looks like the rear of the pack is pretty much close from the looks of it. The gap is not so far behind. The KKRT Shino is the fastest for 152 category. Abimat as well. And now Sharu Rossi is at 152 as well, performing with this green, lime green Porsche 992 also. Powered with the 4.0 naturally aspirated flat 6 screaming around the track with the 9000 RPM giving the max output of the Porsche. Ooh, looks like he kissed the grass a bit. Looks like the frogs would like to have some good rest a bit here. Now moving on to Clement and Yoni as well. Looks like he's trying to get a finish line here. Paslav, a little bit of unfortunate finishes at 153.101. Uncle Man, or Uncle I think, is at 154 at position number 13. And then we have Acidic from the SRS, I believe, is now at 154, and moving on to Amar R at 156,131. Looks like Acidic is the one and only driving the Renault confidently with this layout, with the one and only car with the 7-speed gearbox here in the track, while the rest is operating at 6 speed. This car, however, is a little bit of unique in terms of the GT3 car. Let's see how does it rivals upon the track later on in the race for this high elevation and fast downhill deceleration. How does this Renault will perform in this track? It looks like the marshal has waved a finish flag. Looks like qualifying round is already complete. Right, so back to Amar. Looks like Amar R is also driving different car, is it? Silly Salmon is now at the third place, looks like so. The first three position here, Eric Oy with the 992, ARB also with the 992, PRT Silly Salmon with a completely different car against this 992 up front. Looks like 992 is pretty much dominating in this race because of his layout, and is one of the great handling car for this track, I believe. I think maybe the racers think that this is one of the meta setup for this track specifically, and we can check and see how it will be performed in the long endurance race for 1 hour. And looks like the racers might have to sit back, relax, and think about the great strategy for this race, right? So let's look into the commentary section. Looks like there's no comments here. Weird. Okay, so now we have the position counts for these races. I wish them all the best, and now they are given a little bit of time gap here to rest up and focus, start to compose, and think what is the best strategy throughout this race for 1 hour race. And wish them all the best. Good luck. Also, may we have a look on the race setting, please, race technician? So again, we have standing point here. Look at the current standings. Arik Oy, ARB, PRT Silly Salmon, 5 Rosley, Sire GT at number 5. So it looks like the top 5 here. We have 4 Porsche 992 and 1 Ferrari 296, sorry. And then after that, moving on to PRT, your uncle, also running on the Porsche 992. KKR Ticino, and one and only 458 Italia is one of the old school, but still performed really well here. As we can see, he's now in the top 10, on the 8th position here. So looks like he will be up against the modern technology vehicle here. But still, again, it's all up to the driver. How will they perform in this 1 hour long endurance race? And this will be giving quite a big factors here. This is not a short race, this is about 1 hour race. So for those racers who think thoroughly into this strategy, I hope it works for this 1 hour long race. Okay, once again, let's have a look on the comment section on the Facebook here. Looks like good luck bang, yes, okay, all the best to them. Saya tengah try tak boleh comment, okay. Alright, Zulhaikal Madan, hello. Yes, they have sponsors here. Woo, GTMS, alright. Game no sound. Oh, sorry. Okay, come on, Pose. How long Eric has been in the sim racing? Eric, right, good question. I think I'm not so sure. You will have to ask him. But he's quite an experience for 2 years, I believe. So, yeah. He's able to perform pretty well, I believe. So it looks like in this group, Eric Oy looks like being the top one in the place. So yeah. Team Porsche. Okay. Right, so the race marshal has already begun to make an announcement on the starting grid. It looks like the race is about to begin. Where do we place our bet? Poly market. Oh, no betting, Zul. Nanti, you know lah. Community. We want lobby. Okay, that one, Muhammad Nur Omar. You want to have a good lobby? Then I guess we'll have to talk to the organizers of the race. As soon as we can check here. Tak senang lah. Big production team ni. No lah. No. Tidak lah big production. One man show ni, Zul. Come lah, help me. Okay. So anyway, looks like the race marshal is about to announce the race begin. So the king host has begun the race and the countdown begins. So I'm not so sure how this race format will begin. Is it started from the starting grid or start with the rolling race? It looks like in this format the racers will have to give a pure focus on the grid start. Looks like the 992 might have a struggle a little bit for the race for the starting line. Looks like we have tons of Porsche behind and with a few different cars with the GTR 35 and the Renault, and also we have the Ford GT. Ooh, starting with a big collision there. Amar looks acidic. Looks like kissed the car, turned into 360 now, leaving HMPR past left with a good lead getaway, and now get into the 10th position. Let's look at the front of the pack. Looks like Eric Oy is still leading here, right in the front. ARB on the second place. Faiz Rossley 22 is now on the third place. It looks like Shahir GT and PRT's Lee Salman is now battling for the fourth place here. It looks like this sharp corner, the two are really struggling for the 2MR layout, but looks like it's nothing for them. It's all about the trail braking techniques. So not so sure if they're able to. Manfred has a red flag. Not so sure about it, but looks like the marshal didn't announce any of the red flags, so the race still continues and still ongoing. As we can see now, the top three racers, the three Porsches, is now still dominating in this race. Oh, nice overtaking done by Silly Salmon from the inside line, leaving Faiz Rossley no clue where is he coming from the inside line. And Shahir GT is now also managed to overtake and now taking on the fourth place. Eric Oy is now on the second place. ARB is now leading the pack again. It looks like the two has been overtaking. ARB leaving a good gap behind. Marshall tidur. I think so, Lazula. Sorry. So if there's any hiccup Sorry lah. So anyway, Eric, don't lose people's bet here. Zul is betting for you, Eric. Do your best as much as possible. Right, this is just the beginning of the race. 2 minutes away from 60 minutes endurance. So it looks like the two is still giving a good gap. Looks like these Eric Oy and Silly Salmon will probably have to work together to get the front. So it's either I borrow your slipstream or you borrow my slipstream. Remember this one scene, I'm not so sure if that's being connected, which is the MF Ghost. So I'm not so sure if he's able to do something like that. Oh, Shahir GT, macam dia terjatuh ke belakang ke? Not so sure, but... So again, come back to the MF Ghosting. On the recent episode, looks like the two or the three racers are working together to get a good slipstream and try to get as much as possible gaining position here. Oh, looks like a little bit of unfortunate event for Shire GT. Have the 5 seconds penalty. Most likely is collision on the barrier, it seems, or maybe, you know, limit the track, pushing the track limit for quite some time. But 5 seconds is pretty much obvious. Probably he crashed onto the barrier, and hence the marshal give them a 5-second penalty. Shahir GT will have to face the 5-second penalty here, which is proven very costly. It gives him given a big chance for Acidic to catch up, and you know, Amar R is now with the Ford GT, is currently now also managed to overtake Shahir GT due to the advantage, as we can see, but he is 12 seconds away from Yoni, and now trying his best in no man's land to catch up in as fast as possible here. Shahir GT climb. Oops. Yeah, it's a big whoops for him. He will have to work his way off to get it. But doesn't matter. This is now just a 4 minutes away from 60 seconds. I mean 60 minutes race. So he will have plenty of time to probably catch up with good strategy. Who knows, the car from behind can really catch up to the pole position. It's all depending on the races, right? So now moving on to Clement, as we can see here now, he's on the 10th position. Looks like he might be able to get close to KKRT Shino with the gap of 1.6 second away from the two. But Shino is now managed to pull away little by little, but it's all again to the cornering. What tire is he using right now? He's using the racing hard tires. I see. So that's where the struggle begins for Clement to really catch up with KKRT Shino. So looks like the two are battling for each other to get a better position there. Ooh, looks like the old school Ebemat is still maintaining his position on the 8th, and now currently trying his best to block as much as possible with this KKRT Shino. Again, let's go, Team Ferrari. Clemens Rivery. Yes, he looks like intimating the Rexy. Yes, very much, but he's in the green color. Lime green, I think. So, looking back, looks like ARB has decided to pit in with the low fuel of 25% with the soft tires. I'm not so sure if he's being able to change to good tires. What is his strategy next? He is now being overtaken by quite a number of cars here. Looks like he's falling behind to the 10th, 11, but looks like again sometimes pitting in early might give a good change to the next rest of the races. Now ARB has a clear line. Looks like he went exit nicely, did not cross the line, and managed to go through. Shahir GT as well has managed to pit in as well. Looks like he will have to change his strategy as he was faced with the 5-second penalty. Now Eric Oy is currently now leaving the race again. Looks like Zul is a big supporter for Eric Oy here. Come on, Eric, yes! He might listen to you, I think. So, yeah, it's all based on the commentator response, right? Okay, moving on to these It looks like not a big gap as we can see here. It's 0.5 seconds. If Silly Salmon managed to catch up in few cornering, he might get into a few pressures here. As we can see here, clearly it's getting very much close here. Different layout, different cars, one with the turbocharged, one with the naturally aspirated engine. The 4-liter 9000 RPM is screaming real hard for Eric here. So we can see the gap he's pushing away from Silly Salmon is about 700 to 600 seconds. It looks like the Porsche does perform well in Alsace, France track circuit here. So moving on to your uncle. Let's see how far between the two with Silly Salmon and your uncle. Uncle Cole. So Uncle has decided to pit in. Looks like Faiz Rosley now on the 3rd place and Silly Salmon on the 2nd place. 3 seconds. So 3 seconds and 3 seconds. Eric Oy is now pulling away. It looks like Zul's magic is working real good here. Giving a full support to Eric Oy. and seems like Eric is flying. Yes, yeah. Looks like even the fastest lap is also done by Porsche with our veteran racer. The ARB is running at 151.408. I'm not so sure if he's running on soft, but as we saw him when he went in for the pit, he was on the soft tires and changed it to hard tires. Now again, this might factor because if the track temperature is went into cold, the hard might gonna have a hard time to get the optimal grip on the cold tracks. But again, this is all up to their experience. So yes, Porsches, Hakamadan, looks like you are a heavy supporter of the Porsche brand here. Pom Pom Girls add 5 horsepower to the car, right? How we do have a Pom Pom Girls as a spectator, right? PD, do something about it. So anyway, that's moving on to the scene here. Looks like the one and only with the GTR 35. Looks like he's able to climb. He was starting on the back of the pack, which is on the 10th. He was due to the collision from the earlier the starting grid, and now he's climbed to the top 5. Can he maintain? I'm not so sure, but it's all up to him to perform for this 1 hour race. Now it's already 9 minutes away from 60 minutes. I'm not so sure if that's gonna make a big difference for HMPR. Now he's managed to secure on the 3rd position, but looks like his tires are now more than 50% on the front, and the rear seems okay. Because this is a front engine layout with a twin turbo V6, the weight is more towards to the front, and also even though it's not a good advantage here, but again, for the people who manage to understand the understeer of this R35, hence he will get to drive much faster. So it looks like it is. Ada lagi ke HMPR. Okay, this I'm not so sure, Muhammad Nur. As I look at it, saya pun baru masuk ni untuk komen untuk diorang ni, and I just know they exist for last 2 seasons, I believe. Yes, so yeah, the GTR is really performing on the narrow line. He's trying to get on the inside line here. Again, let's look back to Eric Oy. Wow, amazing performance done by Eric. 10 seconds away from the pack. It looks like he's running alone, leading comfortably away from the pack here. 10 seconds away. It looks like if he pit in, it wouldn't be much pressure for Eric Oy. Now he's running on the racing medium tires. 50%. Looks like it's well balanced, as we can see here, the consumption here. 50% at the front and 50% at the rear. It looks like pretty much okay for the grip, but still, look at it perform on the downhill for the this RR layout 992 Porsche. Oh, closing to the wall, but looks like it gives a good inside line and outside line here. Good exit. Well done, Eric. Let's look into Clement's driving's performance here. Low on fuel. The fuel is giving out a warning here. Looks like he will have to pit in. Otherwise, the car will be running on 80 kilometers per hour for the whole track. ARB now leading from behind. Catching it on the 4th place, he was starting on the 13th place, if I'm not mistaken, running on Racing Heart, giving it a very, very good pace. Here, as we can see, just a few laps after, now he's on the 4th position. Amazing driving from ARB himself. Probably tonight he will be the MVP, or is it Eric will be the MVP? We shall see for the race for tonight. Let's look at it to our good old Ferrari driving. This is one of the good car, the PRT Silly Salmon, running now with the 263. Sorry, a little bit of mistake with this Ferrari. I always get confused with the numbers, but it's running on a V6 3-liter twin turbo and in a rear mid-engine layout, giving it a very, very good balance here. ARB climbing like there's gold at the top of the mountain. Yes, as we can see here, he does perform like Godzilla, trying to eat all the cars in front of him. He's chasing it. So now, trying to get the first top races now. He's not so far away. Fires Rosley not far from behind from Silly Salmon. 1 second gap away. And 14 seconds, sorry, is it 14 seconds? Yes, 14 seconds away from Clement. And now also with Abimat. Looks like the rear pack is sticking out together here, as we can see. Look at that minimap here. They are giving out a huge gap away from this part of this races here. Eric Oy is still now leading the pack 10 seconds away. Look at the minimap here. Eric Oy is somewhere here and is way far away from this other racers at the back. So yeah. Hello Melvin Chung, welcome to the live stream. Anyway, let's look at this HMPR Paslev now has been decided to pit in and now pit out with the Racing Heart tires. Looks like just only change of tires to maintain his position, not to be away from the rest of the pack, giving up less pressure. And now KKR Tishino with the Oracle Racing, the Red Bull Racing. I think he's probably one of the big time supporter for Max Verstappen here. So looks like he is now on the 9th position, trying to get a good hold of here the two between the 458, the old school, and the new Porsche is now struggling to fight each other. Oh, looks like it's pretty much close here. Two tires here. Oh, very close. A simple mistake might cost the two spin off the track, but it looks like the two are professionally taken on each other here. A little bit of contact from Abimat 30, or probably because of the ping line. But now he went into the inside line, a dogfight between the two, trying to get a good slipstream from Abimat 30. KKR Tishino is now trying to do his best, attacking from the inside. Oh, a little bit of oversteer here, but looks like he got over in the grip. Oh, contact again once more, a little nudge from Abimat 30, giving him a huge pressure. KKR Tishino is now trying to show him who's the boss, but looks like Abimat 30 is not be able to give up yet. He's now pushing real hard here, trying to get away from KKR Tishino, but then again, once into the sharp corner, looks like Porsche here showing his advantage and giving out a strong pull, but looks like the 458, the V8 screaming really hard here, trying to give a hard work against the two. Whew, what a battle between the two. Now Porsche finally managed to pull away from the track. Yellow flag has been waved out. Looks like somebody has give that big accident. And now the racers are not to give the overtake. Now this will be a big chance for Shino to pull away from Abimat. Now next, moving on with the Amar with the Ford GT, the one and only V6. Twin turbo again. Looks like more on the 6 pistons layout, the one and only with the Ferrari, with the V8s here. Oh, looks like he is running on high ping. Amar is struggling on the internet speed, I believe. The tires keep screeching like an alien patented noise. So yes, again, let's look at the fastest lap. Looks like ARB is now at 151.408. We are 16 minutes away from 1 hour race. 17 minutes countdown. Looks like the two are able to go really well here. Jaden James, Peppa Pig. Yes, I think Peppa Pig is referring to Shahir GT. Let's look at Shahir GT. See how does he perform in this track. The pink Peppa Pig Porsche. Shino versus Abimat seems to be the best highlight for tonight. Yes, it is. Looks like the two are nudging on each other. They are staying up close, giving up pressure on each other again. And once again, looks like, this very, very good battle here, as we can see. Too bad because of the yellow flag warnings. Hands giving a big chance for Shino to pull away from Abimat, because if Abimat accidentally overtake Shino just now, he might gonna get a penalty. So looks like he will have to give space throughout that yellow flag warning. So now let's look at this Shahir GT, please. The backside. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. The backside of the Ford is resemble Peppa Pig. Yeah, you're right. Correct. Shahir GT. Okay, looks like Streamers is struggling here. He is dropping behind. Is it because of the big livery sticker blocking his rear view mirror? Not so sure, but it looks like he's managed to close the gap between 10 seconds away from the rest of the team. Now he's closing in to Abimat. Looks like Abimat will be in another immense pressure against Shahir GT, but as we look at the tire performance here, the Racing Hard is like 50% on the front and the rear together. Looks like he might gonna be a little bit of struggle when the weather turns into evening or night time. So I'm not so sure whether if he's able to maintain his pace, but looks like seems to it. He is now 5 seconds very, very close to Abimat again. And let's see. So, looks like he just dropped one spot. Yes, Eric Oy is now on the second place. ARB managed to climb it up. Really, he is a Godzilla, yes? So, he's just started off from the 13th place, from the pit out, and now be able to catch up to the first place. And now let's see on the gap that he has produced against Eric Oy. Looks like he has produced 3.2 seconds away from Eric Oy. Wow, despite of this long struggle from the pit stop, he went in early, which is on the Racing Soft, and changed into Racing Hard, and he is now be able to lead the pack at 3.1 seconds away. This will be a very, very big fight for Eric Oy, because he's now running on Racing Soft tires. I'm not so sure if he's able to close the gap between ARB, but let's look at it on ARB's performance, please. That beautiful inside and outside line. Looks like he's trying to get the best lining between the two. PRT Silly Simon. Oh, looks like another dogfight scene here. Let's stay focused in this cam. Looks like Faiz Rosley again managed to dominating. Again, these three were on the top three. I think this race is now on the race medium. So the three Porsches is now back as what it is. Three Porsche at the front, and fourth place, which is Silly Salmon, back again on the fourth position here. So looks like the weather is getting dark. I'm not so sure if there's gonna be rain or probably just temperature cooled down on the track. So if the track is cooled, the Racing Soft might gonna be perform more better than the Race Hard tires, due to the colder temperatures give a slight longer duration for the Racing Soft. Oh, I see. So that is why Silly Salmon is now struggling. Look at the front tire, is devastating. In a way, it looks like the car is so understeer in each corner here. It looks like he had no choice. Will probably have to pit in, but looks like he's brave enough to stay outside of the track. Let's see if Silly Salmon can really survive in this track here. Now look at the tires here on the front left. Sorry, on the front right side tires. It looks like it's completely worn out. He got the balls of steel staying out of the track here, and looks like he will have to do his best to survive along the way. Given it that he wanted to stay outside, meaning he wanted to get less pressure from the rear to catch up to him on the next pit stop. So the tires are really screaming hard for the 296 GT3 here. Very heavy at the front. Looks like at this corner here, whoa, showed a bit of understeer. Yes, RB raging to the front, exactly. So now, I'm not so sure if Alsace does comes with the rain, but it looks like, if I'm not wrong, this track doesn't have rain, unfortunately, so less drama. So again, let's look back into PRT Silly Salmon here. Looks like he really struggled here. He have to slow down quite a lot just to get a good grip for the corner here. And now coming in to the uphill, it looks like he's able to driving well. Look at it. It's clear that we can see the car is pretty much understeer. The front leaving, giving a big chance to Faiz Rosli to run away 7 seconds away, and your uncle might probably get to catch up. He is now 9 seconds away. Oh no, 8 seconds away from PRT's Silly Salmon. It looks like he will have to pit in again. Will he pit in this time? Oh yes, he finally decided to play safe and pit in. A wonderful performance here. Looks like your uncle is also struggling. Now, Cheryl Rossi with his lime green Porsche 992 with in front, which is Clement. The two looks like giving chance each other, or against trying to get a good slipstream between the two, because the way I look at it, the two is trying their best to get to the up front to borrow slipstream, go to the front, and catch up with your uncle and Faiz Rosli, I suppose. And let's have a look with Shino. How far is he behind? Oh, he's 1 second away. So it looks like the 3 Porsche is now getting pretty much close here. 1.5, 1.2, and looks like Silly Salmon just managed to overtake. So Shino again with the Ferrari against the Porsche. Oh, sorry mate. Silly Salmon is now with the fresh new sets of tires. He will have the advantage here. So dogfight is probably an impossible section section for him. So let's look at Zul again. Eric, come on, go back up. Let's see how far Eric against ARB. I'm not so sure whether if Eric is able to catch up. Oh, looks like the two just pit in. Eric Oy and ARB now the two pitting in together. Let's see who the fastest to get out. So let's see again. Yeah, Silly Salmon made a daring dive. Faiz Rosli now at the front. Looks like the two are now refilling. It's now all the best to the pit crew to perform. And Eric Oy seems like he's able to get out first. And ARB followed by him is now getting out again from the track. Let's focus camera on ARB. Let's see if he's able to catch up. Let's see how his technique was able to catch up with these two racers. Imagine just now we just started from the back of the pack, which is at the 13th place, and now he's able to catch up to the first place. Amazing performance done by ARB. And now Eric is in a huge pressure. Eric's pit crew lambat taklah, actually he went out first, so you look at it, he's now on the second place trying to catch up Faiz Rosli. ARB now is driving his best here, giving out the good lining here. As you can see here, smooth outside apex to the inside line. A smooth transition done by ARB, and now moving on to ARB. Looks like the two is now catching up pretty fast. Then we have this Amar R from the back of the pack. I think he have a big internet connection problem here. That's why you can see the car is teleporting here and there like a UFO. So I'm not so sure if he's able to, estimate the MR to driving. One mistake might cause him a big problem to Eric Oy. So I'm not so sure if he's be able to give way. Yes, MRR being the gentleman and give a good open space for Eric Oy, and followed by ARB, which is not far from behind. And now, as you can see, the gap from first, second and third is 18 seconds away from PRT City Salmon, which is the 296 GT3. And now Faris Rosley decided to pit in, and the 2 is now back to 1 and 2. Now it's between ARB versus Eric Oy. Not so sure if he's able to, withhold as long as possible in the first place. Amar, thumbs up, yes. Hear that, Amar? If you are listening to the live, somebody just give you a thumbs up. All the best. Even though your line connection wasn't that great, but still, you keep on racing. Just don't give up. Yes? Alright, so let's come back to PRT Silly Salmon with a fresh new sets of tires. Racing hard is now trying to do his best to catch up with Faris Rosley, who has just managed to pit out not long ago, so leaving a 3 seconds gap behind Silly Salmon. This again does, I think he went dive in twice bravely against the other racers when it comes to battle. As we can see, he looks like a battle hunger type of drivers, obviously. So let's look at it. He's went into the inside line trying to get to the best curb as much as possible here. The 296, although it's a little bit of understeer at the front, although it's on the MR side of the engine layout, but still it does perform very well when it comes to cornering. Yes, Silly Salmon is using the whole track exactly, because this car, unfortunately, even though if it's the MR layout of the engine, it somehow gives this understeer feeling for this driver. So probably might going to be a big struggle for just now, but again, it's all up to the driver. Once he understands the trail braking techniques, Ferrari is no problem for him. So again, let's look back to Shari GT. Looks like he's been aggressively catching up from the back of the pack to now the 9th place, battling against KKRT Shino. The 2, again, Team Verstappen versus the SRS, I think. So again, the 2, a little bit of nudge to KK Shino, telling him that give way to the fastest driver here. But again, looks like because of the nudge just now, somehow made a big push to Shino, and now he's a bit of a gap in front, trying to get into the corner here. A little bit of tricky on the exit, closing to the wall, and now trying to get a good slipstream on the straight as much as possible here. Shahir GT is working out in the best on the inside line, attacking on the inside. Whoa, wonderful overtaking done by Shahir GT, almost getting to the notch on the rear bumper. And now KKRT Shino giving a highlight there. Well done to the battle here. Oh, nicely performed by Shahir GT. He is now climbing on the 8th position. That is where he was started from the grid, and now this is his chance for him to fight. He have 30 minutes remaining out of 60 minutes race. Shahir GT, wish you all the best. And now KKRT Shino still given a new sets of tire here. Race medium tires against race hard. I think probably he might gonna catch up back again. Let's look back into Abimat and Acidic. These two is also driving the old model, the RS1 versus the Ferrari 458 Italia. Again, the 2 is also both MR layout. Looks like here the MR layout is dominating again in this track. It does shows a little bit of Ferrari understeer, well known for the GT3 car. Racing hot tires, but a little bit of damage here. Looks like Abimat face a big trouble here. Looks like he will probably have to pit in to get the car fixed. As we can see here, the front aerodynamics has been damaged and the left tires are probably hitting on the outside angle, hence giving him a very hard time to hit on the inside line. Moving on to the HMPR Pasilav here with the GTR is now catching up with your uncle. Again, as you can see, the GTR 35 on the straight line, it gives a sheer power, be able to get to catch up with this uncle on the Porsche at the front. So let's look at Pasilav, see if he can really perform against the Porsche. Back in those days, in 2009, that is a very aggressive maneuver done by the uncle, showing that you shall not pass. That kind of vibe here. So HMPR Pasilav here is trying his best to get past through uncle, but looks like his blocking strategy from uncle is very obvious here. So it looks like giving this Pasilav a hard time, a sheer pressure, try not to contact to the vehicle and give him a very costly damage. So he's doing his best, trying to find a good space against him. Amazingly, this GTR, although it's a little bit of understeer on the layout, but look at that exit. It's clearly shown that the VR38 DETT, that shows to the Porsche who is the boss. Back in 2009 is the same thing that Carlos Ghosn when first launched his GTR. That's where he shows that in Nürburgring the GTR does perform much better than the Porsche. But still, again, this is the newer generation. It's not the older generation right now. This is all up to the drivers, showing who's the boss. Now back to Eric Oy again. Zol, your magic has made him go to the front again once more. Looks like he's on the race medium tires. He's doing pretty well here. ARB is now behind 5 seconds. Looks like there is a struggle back then, probably because of the different tire layout. He's on the race medium tires and giving him a good optimal grip on the evening. Let's have a look on these ARB. Alright, so okay, yes, it does shows a big advantage for Eric. So Eric is now running on race medium tires, meanwhile ARB is on the racing hard medium. Now, this does show a little bit of strategy here. Eric is running on pace, on stint pace. ARB, however, is running on endurance race. So probably he's using a durable tire, try to avoid pitting in one more time. So yeah, maybe strategy works. Let's see. We have about 35 minutes, over 60 minutes now. KKRT Shino and Shahid GT, looks like the two are still sticking out together, trying their best to get to the front of the pack here. Let's see if these the two, Shino and Shahir GT, will be able to catch up to the front, because as I look at it here, the two is now working on each other here. The slipstreaming, even though it's about 2 seconds away, might not gonna work for them, but as you can see here, they are working pretty hard for together now. At 1.7 seconds away, I'm not so sure if Shahir GT does gonna give a chance to Shino, or probably he will go solo and catch up with your uncle. Now let's look at the comment again. RB trying not to pit for the spot. Yes, very likely RB might gonna stay on the track for the whole 30 minutes race. So we have 35 minutes now on the time, on the clock. Oh, looks like there's a big dogfight here. Abimat versus the HMPR Pasilav. The two again, once again, each other. Looks like Abimat now, he's on a big trouble here. I think he might gonna let him pass because of the damage. And now he's on low on fuel. Very likely he will have to pit in, like it or not, to get the car fixed and get the optimal performance for the night track again, because has the high elevation uphill and downhill. This might gonna be a struggle for the Ferrari 458 Italia due to the track being cold and might be very slippery for the racers. This might going to be a big brace impact if they have made a mistake and gonna cost dearly for the racers. Now let's moving on to a Civic. The one and only Renault RS01 with the 7-speed transmission gearbox now running on the fresh racing soft tires. It looks like his plan is to run racing soft tires throughout the night with the similar noise to the VR38 DETT. I'm not so sure if that is the similar engine shared by Renault and the GTR, but back then Carlos Ghosn was still collaborating with the GTR, to the Nissan company. But due to the unfortunate circumstances, that guy had fled away inside a music case. So yeah, he's still wanted in Japan. Anyway, so let's look back to A Civic. Can turn off the light to Pasca. Ooh, unfortunately tak dapat lah Zul. This is not Initial D. This is Gran Turismo. They only can do flash, that's it. They can't do much. But if the car is completely behind you, you can't see the light, the oncoming lights from the car. So again, let's move into the front pack, the leading two, which is the two Porsches, the Eric Oy and also ARB. ARB is now leaving away from the gap of 12 seconds away from Faiz Rosli. He is now considered as no man's land comfortably. There's no one chasing him from behind, but he will have to push to the front if he's able to. But as we look at it, the conditions of his Porsche right now, the racing hot tires is working pretty well here, but again there is a risk because it is at night. The track is now pretty much very cold here, and as you can see, the skies are turning pretty much dark. The drivers will have to really rely on their headlights. You can see there's no street lights along the way. So this is completely based on intuition of the drivers. And this is Sim Racing, the esports for MUGT, the Art of Speed. The Ace of Speed, Season 4, Round 1 in Alsace, France. This is a fictional track. Looks like again Silly Salman managed to maintain on the 4th position here. Shino and Sharul Rossi is now not so far away. Shahri GT has fallen behind. I wonder what is going on. Probably because of the dark track. Might gonna give him a hard time to perform safely. So again, for your information, for those drivers who are going into the pit, they might have to consider about, let's say here, it's about, if change tire only is about 1 to 12 seconds, and pit with tires refill probably take about 32 seconds, so the drivers might have to consider their strategies throughout the race. Now it's already 40 minutes, we have 20 minutes left. Looks like the Peppa Pig is lit on the rear. Amar R is trying his best to catch up with Ebemat. I believe now he's now being overtaken by Clement, which is just recently given a blue flag, so he will have to give way to Clements now. Excuse me. Ooh, went a bit over the outside. Careful, as the track is now gone cold. This will be a very big gamble for Amar R with the Ford GT. So let's look at it on this situation here. It looks like this Ford versus Ferrari thing is back again. Ooh, a little bit of mistake here with the MRR's driving here. So Ford GT is there. The Ferrari 458 is there as well. So I think he is probably trying to bring back this Ford versus Ferrari drama thing again, but unfortunately for MRR, he looks like being overtaken twice, being lapped by the rest of the races. Meanwhile, for Abimat, he's trying his best to retain his position here and now be able to stay at where he is right now. But unfortunately, his front aero is now damaged, and also the front left tire is also out of the angle, hence giving him a little bit of struggle to get into the cornering. Now again, let's look at Eric Oy with his race medium tires. Looks like his tires is now starting to wear off. A huge understeer at night. Oh, a little bit of off track here. Zul, do your magic. ARB is now catching up. Looks like it might going to be a big chance for ARB to catch up, but look at it. The fuel warning has been lit, and now the 2 is, like it or not, they might have to pit in for the 2. But again, 42 minutes has been passed. He will have about 18 minutes to rethink carefully is he probably will have to pit in or not. But looks like the Porsche might have to face a little bit of trouble here. Like it or not, like I said, probably will have to pit in or maybe maintain on the stint for Eric because he has a one lap fuel advantage. Same goes to ARB, but this probably will give a limit to him. Like it or not, again, he will force himself to pit in. 3% of the fuel, yes, that is what exactly is giving a big advantage to Eric Oy. Congratulations, looks like his strategy is working, and now trying his best to get away as long as possible from ARB. Shush, he said, and now he's going far away from the 2. Now he versus Fires Rossley. Looks like his strategy right now will probably more on the refueling and also tire change. Silly Salmon just pit in again, also with the 7% of the fuel. Very low fuel right now for the 2. And looks like ARB just pit out. Downhill danger. Racing Soft versus your uncle at the front. So whether if these 2 be able to perform well, I'm not so sure, but looks like Cheryl Rossi probably will have to pit in. Yes, he did. And followed by Fires Rossley at the front. A devastating wear for the race medium tires. Eric Oy and ARB now is leaving him a very huge gap here. Fires Rossley is about 14 seconds away from ARB. Eric Oy is 12 seconds away. But again, looks like he has pitted much early. I'm not so sure if that will be a good advantage for the 2. And now the RS01 versus the Abimat. The 2, 13 and 14th position here. One with the race medium tires. He just blinked to Abimat. Probably might going to ask him a giveaway, but looks like Abimat with a V8 Ferrari 458 Italia here is screaming out loud to get pulled away from Acidic here. Downhill looks like there's probably a good advantage for RS01, but getting a gap very close there. Oh, looks like there it is. The blind spot, the black shadows between the 2. Can't see between the 2. Oh, very close call. If those 2 manage to collide, I think will be a big trouble again for Abimat. Again, once more, the 2, Abimat trying to get to secure on the inside line. ACD trying to get the fast out, fast in lining, but looks like Abimat managed to secure that. Oh, a good brave dive from Acidic here, as we can see. He's managed to get away from Abimat, but it's not over yet. As we look at it, Abimat here is not far from behind, not really far away from Acidic. Again, the engine, probably because of the engine, might give him a good advantage. Look at it, he's attacking on the inside. The gap is getting so much close between the 2. Again, this is probably a very big dogfight. Again, the 2, can he go get to the 13th place again? Again, this is really dark at night. It's a very huge risk with this blinking on and off. Not so sure if the drivers were able to focus. Huge sparks produced from Acidic side. Let's see if he's be able to get closer. Looks like again Acidic managed to pull away. Probably is because of the dark track. A huge understeer shown by Abimat. Oh, big mistake done by Abimat 30. Let's moving on to Eric Oy versus ARB. Oh, look at it, the gap between the two. The two is very, very close here. So it looks like the two are now in an immense pressure. 6 seconds. ARB now is catching up, as we can see. A very, very big wow. 6.1 seconds. 6 seconds. Coming in close to the 5 seconds. ARB is catching up like a rocket against Eric Oy. I'm not so sure if Eric will be able to defend here. We have 23 minutes remaining. This is all about him now. Be able to maintain on his pace or not. This is a real tough battle going on later. As we can see, ARB aggressively went into the track despite day and night. That doesn't matter to him. He will still push as far as as much as possible. Abimat's flashing gave me a flash driving on the dash and do highway. Oh yes, it is. Come on, Eric, only the winner can get kisses from MFG Angels. Oh my, you have to get focused on this track. You made him laugh, nanti dah susah lah tu. Okay, let's come back to the race here. As we can see here, ARB is catching up real fast here. The track is about to lights on. Sun is about to rise. Eric Oy is now left 4 seconds gap away from ARB. Shahir GT, again, a good driving performance done by him. Managed to climb up again another 2 more positions here. And now he's on the 6th place. Can he manage to climb into top 5? I'm not so sure as we look at it. His race medium tires are pretty much worn, 50% away from the original web. But I think if he managed to able to just change the tires only, he might going to be able to secure the 6th position. So Cheryl Rossi is now 1 second gap away from Shahir GT. Looking at it now, he will have to give his pure focus and effort here. As we can see, the sun is about to rise and giving out a good old temperature as on the afternoon. But again, track is still being cold. As you can see, the Porsche is now a little bit of understeer, although I do hear a little bit of a high pink produced by Shahir GT. Is a little bit of a weird squeaky noise from the tires, but still, internet speed is not matter to him. He still can perform pretty well here, as we can see. Braking really hard on the downhill, getting it on the outside line nicely, almost kissing the wall, and get to the outside. Let's focus on ARB and Eric Oy. Let's see how big is the gap is. Wow, look at that, 3 seconds left. And ARB now with his new sets of tires, racing hard. Can Racing Hard really overtake Eric Oy? Not so sure. Porsches don't understand, they just don't want to make it easy for you. Yes, correct, you are right about that, because these GT3, in the name of fairness, they will have to give them a little bit of not so great suspension. That's what being told by Misha. I think he's one of the Nürburgring driver in YouTube. Do please follow if you're a big fan of Nürburgring. And yeah, he did explain for the GT3. Porsches actually give a good handling in the real world. It's just that because of the fairness, the balance of performance, somehow they have to make it a little bit of, imbalance in a way. So that's why for this 992, it is so good that we have to go for the RR layout instead of MR layout. Yes. So it looks like Eric Oy is getting an immense pressure here. Abimat coming from the rear behind, trying to give him a good slipstream. Is he able to, giving a good way? Oh, very close here. Oh, try not to get the contact between Abimat 30 and Eric Oy. One screwed up might cost him dearly. Now again, Abimat is not supposed to battle against them, but look at that behind. ARB is coming in very, very close here. Look at that. Look at that. Roar. Eric. That's what he's going to say, right? So, Abimat again giving him a little bit of difficult session here. He's trying to get on the inside line, but looks like there's a car behind him getting it too close. If this goes on, this might going to give ARB a huge advantage, or maybe not, because the two are now trying to exchange a slipstream. A good aerodynamic might gonna give him a good advantage to stay up at the front. We have 8 minutes remaining. ARB is now in a huge pressure to get to the first place. Can he catch Eric? I'm not so sure, but behind, look at it, the seconds of the gap is at 1.9 seconds. Amar R, just give him a good gentleman way to him, and ARB might gonna have to pass him with this tight S-curve chicane corner on the downhill. Not so sure if he's able to get through him. Again, might gonna cause him a big traffic here. So again, it gives him a little bit of trouble of the traffic. 2.2 seconds away from Eric Oy, but it looks like it's not a problem yet. You have 7 minutes remaining, so I'm not so sure if, you know, this time gap will be enough for ARB to catch up to the first place. As we can see, he's catching up real fast, 1.8 seconds away from Eric. Again, looks like Abimat had to face the penalty. I think he just collided with the barrier, unfortunately. ARB is supposed to give way to the leading car and now give it a huge advantage to disadvantage to Eric Oy. So once again, between the two, looks like the gap is getting close now. 1.5 seconds close. The two are now battling. It looks like this will be another highlight for ARB. Will he be the MVP for this season, round 1? I'm not so sure, but let's see how well he could perform, and can he able to overtake Eric Oy in this last minute section. I'm not so sure again, but yet again, please do give him the great support for these two drivers. Eric trying his best to defend as much as possible here. 54 minutes has passed. We have 6 minutes remaining to the white flag, which is the final lap for the two, and looks like now ARB is pushing it real hard here. As you can see, the tires are screaming hard. I think he's on the stint, although with the racing hard tires, he will do his very best to push as much as possible against Eric Oy. Controller versus controller, no, Jaden. They are running on steering wheel. So look at that. Alright. 0.8 seconds. Oh, yellow flag warning. Looks like another advantage for Eric Oy to stay up front. The unfortunate, however, would be Yoni. And also, a big trouble here. Acidic has caused a big disadvantage for Eric Oy again once more, giving ARB a huge chance, lurking from behind. 0.5 seconds is now very close against the two. Acidic, hopefully there's no collision against ARB, doing a very nice overtake here, outside and inside, and managed to cross Acidic nicely. It's now between Eric versus ARB. So let's see if he is able to catch up between the two. Ooh. Strong pressure here. This is a very last minute now. We have 4 minutes remaining. Look at that. Went to the inside line again. Eric Oy trying to get as wide as possible. Try to not give the slipstream to ARB, hence so that he will be able to push away from ARB. But it seems like ARB again lurking from behind, trying to get as close as possible here. Look at that, each corner he's managed to get in very, very close against Eric Oy. Looks like Eric is in big trouble, but again, it's not over yet. We have 4 more minutes remaining, going into the inside line. Oh, looks like nice defense for Eric, trying to defend his pole position. ARB is trying to find a good gap to overtake him. Looks like now the battle between the two drivers, a battle of the horsepower. Looks like Eric Oy not able to defend on the inside line, but it's not over yet. ARB now went on the outside. ARB, now they have performed the two switcheroo between Eric and ARB, and now they're going in again one more time. This will be another S-curve corner. Looks like the two are very, very close, bumper to bumper. 0.1 seconds. Looks like one mistake might gonna cost dearly for the two, but then again, the two went up a good dogfight, a very professional performance here. As we can see, the two are now bumper to bumper. Oh, a little bit of nudge there. Eric Oy looks like a giving immense pressure. Looks like Eric will have to defend hard. Pull, Eric, like you can't pull no more. Yeah. Hopefully. Oh, a big disadvantage for ARB. A big mistake here. Went on the outside. Kiss on the grasslands here. Eric Oy managed to pull away again. Oh, what an unfortunate mistake. But again, it's not over yet. 2 more minutes remaining. Big chance for ARB to catch up once more if he's able to focus. Giving a hard focus here. Going downhill. This is an advantage, as you can see here. Look at that. Downhill. Getting near to Eric Oy. 2 more minutes remaining. I'm not so sure if this is it. I think Eric Oy might going to be able to stay on his pole position. But then again, look at that. Low fuel warning doesn't mean it's a big disadvantage. The car might be lighter than Eric's. As you can see, he's catching up real fast. 700 milliseconds, 600 milliseconds going in on the inside line. Smooth exit. Strong accelerating on the Porsche 992 GT3 R with a with a flat 6, 9,000 RPM flat crankshaft. What a screamer for these two Porsches. 0.5 seconds remaining for the gap between the two. 0.4. And now they're closing in for each corner. Look at how ARB drive. Although with the mistake that he pulled, he managed to pull it off well. And now he's behind Eric Oy again. Psst, I'm here. Giving an immense pressure to Eric Oy. This is the final lap, and this is it. Can the two really push out here? Ooh, look at that. Bumper to bumper. It's total blackout. I couldn't see what is coming from in front. But it looks like ARB trying to get as close as possible, trying to push the Porsche with the low fuel. Eric Oy. Last corner, last two chicane. Oh, yellow flag warning. Unfortunate for ARB. He can't pull it off, unfortunately. But congratulations, what a performance for Eric Oy and ARB. Congratulations for the first place, ARB, and followed by third place, Faiz Rosley. Coming on to the 5th place. I'm not so sure whether they're able to pull it off. Let's see who's the 4th place here. KKR Ticino with your uncle is now on the 7th and 8th position. I'm not so sure if somebody made a mistake, then it's a big whips. So once again, would like to congratulate in advance Faiz Rosley on the 3rd, followed by ARB on the 2nd place, and lastly on the 1st place, Eric Oy. It looks like Zul has gave you the magic, the power of push to you, Eric. What a wonderful driving performance for the two, Eric Oy and ARB. A huge highlight for the two just now from the beginning, which is Abimat doing his best with the 458 Italia as well. What a race for the first round of this season. The Ace of Speed Season 4 Round 1 victory goes to Eric Oy. Congratulations. Again, this is a big thank you once again. Let's look at the standings. Eric Oy on the first place, ARB on the second, and then followed by the third as the rest, and then we go for Shahiri GT as well also. Okay, let's let the marshal to save the replay. So we look at Sharu Rossi, PRT Your Uncle, KKRT Shino, and followed by Clement with the 8th position. Very well done. So, okay, Eric, pick the thick angel for your winner case. You hear that, Eric? Go pick your angel. Right, so coming to the 9th position, Shahir GT with his unfortunate penalty of 10 seconds. I'm not so sure what is going on, but probably because of the collision just now. And followed by the Pasalaf with the GTR falls to the 10th position, followed by Yoni Acidic, the one and only with the RS01 GT3 is now on the 12th place. Abimat on the 13th place, Uncle and Amar R, which is quite a bit of unfortunate with his internet connection, as I can see, finish on the 15th place. But it's okay, this is just the first round. Congratulations to all the racers who put it up a lot of effort in this race. Again, thank you for staying with me tonight for this live race. This is Brandon, your host, aka Baymus07 for the IGN in GT7. And a very big thank you to our sponsors, which is Nasi Ilham Kukus and also SimMatch Simulator. Right, that's it for tonight. Thank you and see you for the next round.